Leaders are everywhere. In fact, you have probably interacted with a leader today, and you didn't even know it. But what is a leader? Sure, we can say that a leader is someone like Justin Trudeau, or Donald Trump, Pope Francis, or LeBron James, or John McCain. But famous leaders aren't the only leaders. Leaders are all around us. A leader is a person who leads or commands a group, organization, or country. A leader is someone who literally leads a group of people in a direction. According to Mr. Toth, a leader is anyone who sees injustice and chooses to act. Let's break this down. A leader can be anyone. This means that a leader can be anyone from Donald Trump to my little brother. But a leader can only be a leader if they see injustice and choose to act. This means that they either hear or witness something that they consider unfair or unjust and take it upon themselves to make change. A leader understands the concept of getting things done. If you want change, make it happen yourself. My definition of leadership would be something like guiding others to inspire and achieve positive change on any scale. I think this is a good way to explain leadership because it gives the idea of guiding, and I think that a leader must guide their followers. Leaders are leaders because they want to see change, not just talk about it. The idea of inspiring change is appealing because the word inspire means to create a feeling, especially a positive one, in a person. This is important because when a leader sees something they want to change, they need to inspire their followers to want to see change as well. The word achieve is also very motivational, and it shows that not only will you be inspiring others to make change, but you will also achieve that change. On any scale is in my definition of leadership because it's important to keep your goals in perspective. But it's also important to realize that no matter how seemingly insignificant your goals are, if it's important to you, then it's worth changing. Whether a president passes a radical new law or a local woman runs a food drive, change is change, and leaders will always be the ones who inspire and achieve it. Now that we know so much about leaders, where do they come from? Are they cybernetically engineered in a special government-run facility and sent out into the world to secretly inspire change? Well, that's a little bit of a stretch, but it's a good question. Are leaders born or made? I think this is a fair question because leaders are both born and made. Let's face it, some people we meet we instantly like. They are outspoken, confident, and charismatic. We think to ourselves, now that's a leader. They're just born that way, and they often don't even know how much change they inspire just by being themselves. But then there are those people who go through the classes, train themselves, and put themselves out of their comfort zone all the time in order to become a better leader. These leaders are made. Another example of a leader being made is circumstantial. Take for example the Second World War. When the Nazis came into people's towns and took over, leaders started inspiring change. They organized themselves into little groups of saboteurs, stealing food or destroying weapons. They did what they could because they saw injustice and decided to act upon it. What are the most important characteristics in a leader? I'd like to propose the top 3. A leader is, firstly, autonomous, secondly, passionate, and thirdly, responsible. The reason I chose these 3 as my top characteristics is because a leader can't be successful without them. The reason I think it's important for a leader to be autonomous is because if the leader can't stay on task, why should the other members of the group? A leader must lead by example, and if they aren't working hard to reach the goal, no one else will want to. Motivating yourself to get tasks done is super important. A leader needs to be passionate because they need to be able to make the members of the group want to make a difference and strive as a unit for the best possible outcome. No one wants to work hard for a semi-passionate leader. The level of intensity the leader shows will be replicated by the other members in the group. If your leader is always motivating you and pushing you because he is so passionate about the topic, his enthusiasm will make you want to impress him and help him make a difference regarding the subject he or she cares so much about. A good leader needs to be able to take ownership for the actions of the group. If a leader isn't responsible and doesn't take care of things at the leadership level, the group could get into trouble or end up breaking rules they were unaware of. Another reason the leader needs to be responsible is so that the members of the group trust him. No one wants to work for someone who doesn't take ownership of their actions. If you work for an irresponsible leader, you won't care about what you are doing because if the boss doesn't care, why should you? How can I be a better leader? This is a question for everyone to ask themselves. It helps you understand who you are and what you can do to become a better guide for those who look to you for advice. For me, I need to get better at guiding others to inspire positive change. I often use my leadership skills in a negative way. Another thing I need to do is make my organizational skills stronger. I struggle with being on top of my tasks and often deal with things last minute. Things I can do to fix this include using calendars or putting reminders on my phone. Writing down the things I need to do will ensure that I don't forget about them. Deadlines won't sneak up on me, and I'll be able to manage my time in efficient manner as possible. Another way I can become a better leader is by making genuine connections with the people who I'm leading. Being a leader can set you apart, and this can be a good thing, but it's also best to remain on the same level as your followers. A leader needs to be human, not in the biological sense, although that's probably a smart idea, but in the sense of being a genuine, empathetic, caring person. A leader that is actually liked by his followers will be far more successful. A place that we often overlook that is a perfect example of leadership is the family. Most families have a patriarchal leader with a matriarch second in command. However, this traditional family structure has changed, and women often play the role of household head. But regardless of your family having a traditional setup or a modern one, the family can only function well if the members listen to the leader, and the leader makes decisions to benefit the family. Warren Bennis was a leadership expert who died at the age of 89. He wrote many books about leadership and was known as the Dean of Leadership Gurus. He never pretended he knew anything about leadership, even though he gave leadership lessons. Pinning down a pearl of wisdom on leadership, he admitted, could be elusive. To an extent, leadership is like beauty. It's hard to define, but you know it when you see it. He believed that leaders were made, not born. In his book, On Becoming a Leader, Bennis wrote that experiencing struggles and hardships molds leaders. The journey to becoming a leader comes as a result of going through a process of self-discovery. Before people can learn to lead, they must first learn something about this strange new world. The top six leadership qualities chosen by the leadership guru himself are integrity, dedication, magnanimity, humility, openness, and creativity. Now that you understand something about leadership and its importance, why don't you take this information home with you? In my new book, Leadership for Dummies, I explain how leadership is important, give examples of leadership in the past and its profound influence on the world, and give great advice for how to become a better leader. Buy my book, learn from it, and the next time you want to make a difference, the next time you want to invoke change, I guarantee success. In conclusion, leaders are all around us, and they make an impact on their communities. Leaders have a lot of good virtues that set them apart and cause them to be properly suited for the position of leaders. Leaders are normal people that we see every day. Leaders exist in family life, and they inspire change. Leaders shape the future.